Sweat, tears, and blood is what a person would leave behind at basic training. The topic of basic training is important because this country will always need people who are willing to defend it. And those that choose to do so need to be informed of what they're getting themselves into. Joining the Army is a big commitment, and I believe people should be well informed of what basic training entails. To illustrate this, we will talk about the 3 phases of basic training: red phase, white phase, and blue phase. Let's start off by talking about the first phase of training, red phase. Red phase is also known as the Patriot phase. It's weeks 1 through 3 of training. The first week you get there, it'll be reception. You'll get uniforms, you'll get dental, you'll get shots, and eye exams. You'll also learn the basics, things like how to stand when talking at certain ranks and what to do and when to do it. And then after reception, you'll go to your company and the shakedown begins. You'll get off the bus, you'll be getting screamed at by multiple drill sergeants being told what to do, and it's really overwhelming. This is to see if you're able to listen and act fastly. Then you'll do the bag drill, where every recruit dumps all of their things into this big pile and you have to go get all of your things in a certain amount of time. And if you can't do that, you're punished physically. The training of red phase is learning the traditions, the ethics, and the Army values. There are 7 Army values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, personal courage, honor, and integrity. You'll also complete an APFT, which is the Army Physical Fitness Test. It is push-ups, sit-ups, and a 2-mile run. Depending on how old you are, is depending on how many push-ups and sit-ups you will do. You will also learn to assemble and disassemble an M16, which is the Army-issued weapon. You will also go do the MBC chamber, which is a gas chamber, and it's CS gas. You'll walk into this big brick building, and they'll have the CS gas in a pan, and it'll be fanning it everywhere. You'll have your gas mask on, but they'll ask you to take it off while you hold your breath, and they'll ask you to say something. Well, as soon as you start to say something, you can't, because it's just burning you everywhere. Eventually, you'll be let out of the gas chamber, and any fluids that can run, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, you'll have fluids coming out everywhere because of this gas. You will also learn marches and positioning in red phase, and you'll do other things also, like classroom training, which just covers the regulations and the rules of basic training in the Army period. Now that we understand red phase, let's move on to talk about white phase, or also known as the rifleman phase. White phase is working on developing your combat skills. It's weeks 4 and 5. You'll learn basic rifle marksmanship, which includes zeroing, which they give you 18 rounds to shoot, and you'll shoot 3 at a time and try to group them. Once you are zeroed, you then move on to qual, which, to qualify, you have to shoot 23 of the 40 rounds you are given. And that is one of the big requirements of basic training. If you don't do that, you cannot pass basic training. When you are qualing, you'll engage at various targets and various distances. They'll pop up and you'll shoot them, and they'll go down if you hit them. You'll also learn to prioritize your targets. Throughout white phase, you'll also do hand-to-hand training, which includes rappelling from the Warrior Tower, which is a 47-foot tall tower, and you have to rely on your battle buddy to hold you if you fall. You'll also do night fire, and you'll also do map and compass reading, which involves walking miles upon miles. They give you a map and a compass, and you have to find certain points. There are several people that get lost, and the drill sergeants have to go out to find them because, like I said, it's miles upon miles where they locate these points. We have now covered 2 of the 3 phases of basic training. Let's now move on to talk about the last phase, blue phase. Blue phase is weeks 6 to 9 of training. Blue phase works on building individual tactical training and leadership skills, also self-discipline. Throughout blue phase, you'll learn advanced rifle marksmanship, which is using tools such as lasers to shoot and night goggles. You'll also be able to shoot an M240, which is a machine gun. Throughout blue phase, you get to learn how to use a grenade launcher, which is pretty nice. You get to throw a live grenade over this brick wall, and you have to duck and cover. You also learn about mines, and you also do a 10 to 15 kilometer ruck march, which is a requirement to pass basic training. It's 10 miles. At the end of your ruck march, you'll have the end of the cycle test, which will look to see if you completed the 212 tasks of basic training. And you also have to take an end of cycle APFT. If you do not pass the APFT, you do not pass basic training. Once you do all of those things and you get back from your big 10-mile ruck and you pass the APFT, it's graduation, finally. Graduation day is pretty nice because you haven't seen your family for a very long time. So the day before graduation, you get a whole day with your family. They let you go off post. You get to eat. Everything is different. Your mindset and everything just feels awkward. The next day is graduation and family time. You graduate and then you get more time with your family, but then you have to say your goodbyes because the day after that you move on to AIT and your military career is just starting. As I said before, enlisting in the United States Army is an important decision for anyone to make. In some cases, it's a lifelong commitment. I believe that the people who choose to enlist should first be well informed of what basic training entails. To illustrate this, we talked about 3 phases of basic training. Those 3 phases were red phase, white phase, and blue phase. After enlisting, the next 2.5 months will be spent working yourself to exhaustion, being humiliated and screamed at on a regular basis, having to push yourself with little sleep, and being away from your family or friends for a very long time. Again, it is a commitment, one that some people may not be able to handle, but if you're up for the task, it can be a very rewarding experience. Thank you.